but in most cases it wasn't. So the endocrinologists are trained, and I like to say some endocrinologists are among my best friends, which is true, but also a way people say that before you dismiss them, right? So endocrinologists are, and I'm a frustrated endocrinologist, really, I think in essence. They're trained to work on numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The whole field is based on numbers. Radioimmunoassays came out in the 1970s, you could determine what normal ranges were, and you could then define who was low in any hormone you wanted, who was high, who was normal. So I'm critical in general of the endocrinologist being too stuck on numbers. I like to look at the whole person, and people can have symptoms and their numbers may just be normal, but it's not reflecting who they are and what they're experiencing. I think that's true. But by and large, especially the using numbers that I think are more generous and inclusive, it's rare for somebody to really be deficient in testosterone if everything looks fabulous. We can't forget that human beings are complex. There was one case of mine, I treated this guy early on who was a father, had a 7-year-old daughter. His testosterone was quite low. He was referred to me, of all things, by an endocrinologist, and he had osteoporosis. And they knew that I was treating with testosterone. The endocrinologist didn't want to deal with it. And he had very low libido, married, low libido, and osteoporosis. And so we treated him, and his libido didn't improve. And he decided he wanted to stay on testosterone for his bones.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, his bone density really did improve, but he'd come in for regular injections every 2 weeks. And at the end of it, had to be like 3 years. I had a nurse who was giving him his injections. He told my nurse, he says, you got to sit down. I got news for you. He'd been in therapy and had discovered that he was gay, had not yet had any sexual contact with anyone, but he had this conclusion. And within the next few weeks or months, he started going out with men, and his libido was perfect. Now, we had treated him for years. He didn't get a response to testosterone. If he hadn't been concerned about his bones, we would have stopped treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of that story for me is people are complicated.
Yeah.
And there can be things going on that contribute to fatigue, lack of sex drive, just feeling not right in one's body, that even with the best doctors, the most sensitive therapists sometimes, like you're just not going to know. And sometimes it just has to play itself out.